strange people in here late at night? Yes, we do.
You're gonna turn into a Goomba!
I am once again asking
For a cheeseburger!
We'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks!
Good night, and good luck.
Welcome back to another episode of the Retrogrades podcast. I'm your host, Jake. With me are my beautiful co-hosts, Ryan, Dylan, and Adam. How you guys
I'm doing.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
is this a bit?
I very comfortably slipped into the accent as I was counting down.
Sound like the Chicago
and
Bears
I just
guy.
stuck with it.
Oh, God.
I was going for like a Fargo, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I succeeded entirely.
You sound like SNL Chicago Bears guy. That sounded pretty cool.
I'm gonna fuck you in the ass, don't you know?
Da Bears. Alright.
I believe we said we wanted to start off with J.K. Rowling being a transphobe.
yeah,
That's kind of funny.
yeah. It's really hilarious. I love it. It's really interesting to watch her descent into madness. It's
Well, I also think it's funny that, like, literally right after she started going on this Twitter war about this, Daniel Radcliffe just came out in some random interview for something he was doing completely unrelated, and they asked him about it, and he just went, "Yeah, trans women are women. I don't know what the argument is here."
swag. Okay, yeah.
What was the exact tweet that she did? That she said?
Well, I mean,
It was
okay. So, like, from what I remember, it didn't really start off with a tweet. As she says in her quote turf manifesto, that's not what she calls it, but that's what the internet is calling it. The whole thing kind of started with her kind of defending this person called Maya Forstater, who she is J.K. Rowling is pushing the narrative that Maya Forstater was fired from her job because of her views about being gender critical, or whatever flowery language she wants to replace the term transphobic with.
yeah, instead of just saying bigoted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What actually happened though was that Maya Forstater was on a yearly contract at this company, and not only that, she was kind of like a public representative of this company while she was working there. And so not only did it not look good for optics, she wasn't really technically fired. It's just that her contract simply wasn't renewed. And they're allowed to do that.
Like what happened with Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a pivot.
It's not plugged in.
Fuck you.
Sorry. He was trying to charge his phone, and I don't have my charger plugged in. It was like the fancy wireless one too. He just put it down, and nothing happened.
Let me take off my fucking case.
I'm sorry, man. In addition to that, though, in addition to Daniel Radcliffe coming out, I just found out that both Emma Watson and Rupert Grint, the full trio, just all went, fuck her.
Swag.
J.K. Rowling's a fucking idiot. Like,
Yeah.
she's...
Well,
Yeah.
hey, I will say, though, she may have regressed as a person in her later years, but god damn it, did she write a really good 7-book
Well,
series.
yeah.
I fucking love Harry Potter.
I never read them, but I'm gonna just say that they're good books, even though I haven't read them at all.
It took me. I was, I'm a movie guy.
Yeah.
So my first experience with Harry Potter was the movies growing up. So like that's like, to me that's like Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe are all like my definitive.
Yeah.
Like that's just who I see in my head even when I read the books now.
Yeah.
But it took me a while to come around to the books, but the books are really fucking
Even though
good.
J.K. Rowling
They're
is
really
like,
good.
now she's like, oh yeah, Neville's actually like a POC or whatever.
Yeah, that stuff was ridiculous, and that stuff kind of made me think like, oh, like maybe she's like tolerant and whatever, and like this is kind of a bad way to go about it, and things like that. But at least she's not racist or like
she's just virtuous.
bigoted or anyway.
Yeah, and then at least she's not bigoted.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
never mind. Hey.
Well, the whole thing about it is that, like, people used to get, when J.K. Rowling was saying, like, I never said Hermione wasn't black, and people got really
Except
mad.
she actually
I never
did
said
say that
Hermione could
Hermione
walk.
wasn't
Well,
black.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, like, in the Cursed Child show, they cast they cast a black woman to play Hermione, and like the thing was, whenever that happened, when J.K. Rowling said that, I was like, that doesn't really change my opinion of Harry Potter. Like, If Hermione's black, Hermione's black. They're, you know, I love Hermione for her character because she's just a good character.
The Cursed Child also such major.
Okay, yes, the Cursed Child. The Cursed Child is shit, but the casting of a black woman as Hermione is not. Like,
whatever.
I don't
Who
get why
gives a
people
shit?
get
I
like
don't care.
so angry
Yeah.
about it. Like when Michael B. Jordan got cast as Johnny Storm and everyone lost their shit, and it's like, dude, who cares?
I think if instead of I think it's more so that they got butthurt because there already was a Hermione like in the movies. Like if they made the movies now, like without even making them before, instead of Emma Watson as Hermione, let's say they got like Zazie Beetz or something.
Oh, I would say like Zendaya.
Or Zendaya. Zendaya's kind of overcasted
be-
now in a lot of things.
Yeah, a little
She's
bit.
a pretty okay. I will to chime in though. Coming from Shake It Up with Bella
Don't you talk
Thorne
shit about
on
Shake It Up,
Disney.
bro.
Hold on,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
talk
she
shit
wasn't.
on.
I don't think
I'm
she
gonna
was.
talk. I'm gonna talk shit on Shake It Up because it was bad. And Zendaya has really made a career for herself out of that shithole that was Disney XD.
And Bella Thorne is
She also made a
somewhere
career
else.
out of
Did
other
not.
things.
She has made a career
Yeah,
for herself.
she's directing porn now. So.
She's living the dream.
Listen,
right
that's
now.
great. That's honestly, that's great.
She makes
Hey, I
so
don't
much
shit on
money.
it. I'm a procurer of porn.
Yeah. We all love porn here. So.
That was
that was an interesting way to
That
phrase it. I'll say.
sounded so dry.
I'm gonna
Procurer of porn.
rescind that. I'm gonna rescind that statement from the board. I'd like the what's the name of the person who typed
Strike
it
the
for her?
record and reverse it or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
the Willy Wonka shit.
What's the title? What's the title for that? The person who
The scribe
who types in a-
transcriptor, something like that.
the typer.
Hold on. Continue with the
Typist?
topic. Continue with the
The
topic while I
pianist.
Google this real quick.
The pianist.
The pianist.
I'm literally just typing courtroom typer and seeing what it tells me. Court
Oh,
reporter.
okay, cool.
No, there's
Or
name
a stenographer.
Oh, swag.
Stenographer, that's it.
Formerly referred to as a stenotype operator, shorthand reporter, or law reporter, is a person whose occupation is to capture live testimony in proceedings.
Cool.
I learned a thing today.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the only thing anyone's gonna learn from this fucking show, probably.
Guys, we could just get Google to do it.
I don't know. I never watched any of the
Text-to-speech
fucking Harry Potter
exists.
movies.
You don't
to be
need text to
honest, so-
speech. You could just have a recording.
Oh wait, I just got this in my head. Did you guys know that the more you know, like little PSAs, like they're still a thing. You know that, right?
What do
Yeah.
you mean?
I didn't know that. I don't
They're
know
on
why I didn't
PBS.
know that. But like earlier yesterday, I was like watching TV with my mom, and then there was this thing with
perusing
like
PBS?
what?
I said, were you perusing PBS?
I don't think it was on PBS.
Huh.
I don't know, but like it was just the more you know thing. It was like the actor on screen. She was like talking to someone behind the camera, like, yeah, I know. And then she's like to the viewer, what's that? Oh yeah. Did you know that 60% of women report being sexually assaulted? I don't know. I just found that delivery. I just found that delivery really funny.
Yeah, casually
Not the
looking
facts.
to the camera like fucking Ferris Bueller talking about sex crimes. Great.
God. That took such a hard left.
Guys,
Like I thought Adam was about to say. I thought Adam was about to give me like the public broadcast equivalent of like a Snapple fact, but he just fucking laid down some like crime statistics on me.
So what's your favorite
Oh,
Harry
man.
Potter movie?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
I
hands
only
down.
watched
Or
the
Order
first
of the
one
Phoenix.
and Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, Order the Phoenix.
Which
is
apparently
really
Goblet of
Order of the
Fire is
Phoenix.
the worst one, apparently, I've heard.
No.
Chamber of Secrets is the worst.
Yeah, but I still really like Chamber.
good. Is it the worst?
I love
really like
Chamber of
I
Secrets.
think Chamber of Secrets is the worst.
I guess I never thought of. I've never had a ranking in my head of for these.
Do we prefer Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone?
Why do
I mean, like
prefer-
Sorcerer's
it
Stone is
doesn't
nice.
matter.
It's got
No,
that
I'm curious. I'm
alliteration.
curious. Do we like the original British rendition or the Americanized?
Doesn't matter. I fell asleep in the movie either way.
You fell asleep.
I bought both. Okay, I watched Goblet of Fire and Sorcerer's Stone, and I fell asleep in both of those movies. So whoops. sorry, Harry Potter fan.
I'm trying to think of the last movie I like straight up fell asleep in. Like, did you fall asleep in the theater?
No, I didn't watch them in the theater. That was the thing.
Rogue
Okay.
One. Rogue One.
Really?
You fell asleep during Rogue One.
I hate Rogue One.
Oh, wait. The person I saw Rogue One with fell asleep. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Boring. It's slow.
I think it was. I think it was no. I remember who it was. It was an older friend of mine. We went to. I fucking forgot about this. I guess he had just gotten off work when we went to go see it, and he just straight up passed out in the middle of it. And then when we left, I was like, did you remember any of that movie? He's like, I remember the first 20 minutes and like the last 15 minutes.
Damn.
He's like, I know they all died.
Hey, hold up. Can anyone give me the name of the main character in that movie?
Jenna Urso. Riz Ahmed
He was
plays Bodhi.
about to red pill us with this epic.
Yeah,
list.
Riz Ahmed plays Bodhi Rook.
Riz
Mads
Ahmed
Mikkelsen
plays
plays
Venom,
Galen
but he's
Erso.
gray in that movie.
Okay, Riz Ahmed played Riot.
Oh, sorry. I
That
thought
was
Gray
the name of the
Carnage or
villain in
something.
Venom. the next one's the next one's gonna have Woody Harrelson.
Next
in
one's gonna
Carnage, which
fucking stink.
oof.
God, why
It's
did that movie
being
make so much money?
No, hold on. It's being directed by Andy Serkis.
So?
That's promising.
He made the shitty Jungle Book movie that just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mowgli.
Ryan Johnson had a good track record before Last Jedi. That's all.
That's
I'm
true.
Yeah, that's true.
Ryan Johnson is continuing to have a good track record after
Knives
Last
Out.
Jedi.
This is big.
Knives
fat.
Out is his best movie.
That's a
Yeah,
topic.
so
We brought this up like the first episode of the show. Like what some of our favorite movies were.
Lighthouse.
Yeah, movies from
Yeah.
last year. We could jerk off.
Lighthouse
the
was
Lighthouse
my
for a
fucking
bit.
favorite. I mean, I was just talking about how much I love Willem Dafoe and how versatile of an actor he was with my family.
Yeah,
he's
Or
great.
is. Willem Dafoe's not dead.
Yeah.
No, we were. I was also doing my favorite impression. Godspeed, Spider.
Bad luck to kill a seabird.
Bad luck to kill a seabird, Spider-Man.
It's bad luck to kill a seabird, Batman. Topical joke.
Him as Joker would be fucking amazing.
Yeah,
It's-
Robert Pattinson as Batman and Willem Dafoe as the Joker would be
Holy
epic.
shit! Oh my god.
Oh God.
Also, rewatching Avatar, god damn it, is Mark Hamill so good as Firelord.
He's good in every role he does ever made. Even
I know.
the 2
Well,
minutes he
he's-
was in Kingsman, that was really good.
I was about to bring up Kingsman. That was such a weird movie for him to be in.
It was.
There for
You
like
know
a
what? I
minute,
appreciated
and
it,
then
though.
he freaking bites
And then
the
he.
bullet.
Mark Hamill's been in like so much shit that I didn't realize he
Yeah.
was in.
Well, now he mainly does voice.
Lauren was
acting,
talking.
so.
My sister was talking about how he was a very prominent villain on Criminal Minds.
Really?
Interesting.
I've never seen that show, but
Damn.
all I know is it's like Grey's Anatomy meets Mindhunter.
Oh, so like worse Mindhunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people it's like people enjoy it. I've seen some
We've already
episodes
been
of it.
here
The
with the
editing,
Grey's Anatomy
the,
argument anyway.
the editing in that show is goofy as all hell, but it's fun.
Like Ang Lee Hulk goofy or like.
Ang Lee Hulk is just an acid.
I want to
trip.
watch that with you guys.
I got what they were going for. They were trying to make it
Comic
like
book panels and shit.
yeah, like comic book panels. It was
But it's
so,
just so
bizarre,
funny
though.
to watch.
Well, it's also in addition to being like kind of a superhero film, it's just like a really weird trying to be an art
Yeah.
film.
That's
Trying
That's
so
Ang Lee
hard.
for you. A lot of try hard.
Like
And then, like,
live action
films and
speed racing.
You want to know what's funny? The movie that he made before and after that Hulk movie were both nominated for Oscars.
What movies?
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon before it, and Brokeback Mountain
Yeah.
after it.
Oh.
Literally sandwiched in between these two fantastic movies is this
green
big old
blob.
fucking stinker.
Yeah, Jack. I know.
This
I
big-
watch your movie
this-
sucks too.
This big green dookie.
Uh-oh.
You got me. Do you listen to their podcast?
Occasionally.
I'll plug them real quick. Sardonicast is funny.
Yeah.
I Hate Everything is my favorite. If he ever hears this, I love you, Alex.
Aw.
Yeah. Speaking of YouTubers, Adam, what YouTuber would you like to talk
Oh
about?
god, yeah.
Ordinary sausage, baby.
I briefly saw a critical video on this matter.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I
what's
have
it
heard
called?
nothing
I mean,
of it.
after that video, that's
Hold up,
where I
explain it
saw
to
him
me.
first
Yeah,
too.
here,
After that video,
explain
he
it-
just
explain it to the
absolutely
people.
blew up. Okay, yeah, I should explain the premise of the channel. This man is just a beautiful gem man, and the reason why is because he takes like foods that would normally not go into a sausage and makes it a sausage, which sounds really dumb, but it's just great. He's just a really genuine guy, it seems, and he's just
out here making sausage.
making some sausages. And okay, most of the sausages he makes are kind of awful, and I mean, like, really, it's more of an experimentation thing. He's kind of, it's like a learning process. He learns along the way, like, what works in the sausage, what doesn't. Generally, if something has a lot of carbs in it, it's gonna, like, tend to burst, you know, whatever, stuff like that. But he's actually made some bangers. Early on, he made a sausage out of the KFC Big Bucket meal or whatever it is. He gave that a perfect storm.
That was the Critical thing I saw.
Yeah.
Well, Critical tried to make it himself, and he failed miserably.
Yeah, this is very true. He had a lot of issues with his sausage, his Cuisinart, his sausage making machine. Yeah. He also, what's it called? Ordinary Sausage also made a Passover sausage video where he just takes matzah and gefilte fish and horseradish and all this just not good. Like it makes us look bad as Jews. You know, it makes us look bad. I won't lie.
It's a disgrace.
Yeah.
It's
like, I kind of wish gefilte fish didn't exist.
Disgrace of a Judea sausage.
But yeah, no, he tried making a sausage out of that. It's a really good video, but it's not a good sausage. I'll say that much.
So he's like the Bill Nye of sausages.
Exactly.
So it's an interesting channel to really dive deep into, but honestly, that's why I love that the internet exists.
I love it too.
You guys remember when the 1,000 degree knife was a thing?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I hated that.
That makes me hate the internet.
Yeah, that was one of those things that was like, this is just the pinnacle of people just turning brain off.
Yeah, and then H3 and iDubbbz almost burnt their house down trying to make it.
Yeah.
Back in the golden days.
Yeah, I remember that. God, let's not talk like we're 40.
Back in the good old
Yeah,
days.
I mean, like on the internet, it feels like kind of things are like compressed because like not much has happened on the internet yet. So like when you talk about like way back in the day, it's like the 80s or whatever. But like also it could mean like 2017.
Yeah, it's like, oh look, it's a Dat Boy meme. That shit. Oh, the good old.
Oh, that's ancient. What are you? What are you, an ancient Egyptian man? Are you Ra? Like what is this?
Yeah, look at the hieroglyphics.
really not.
Hieroglyphics in a pyramid. You see Dat Boy. You see a frog in a fucking unicycle going through King Tut's tomb.
Are you guys ready for when we're like 50 or 60?
Oh my god.
And
stop.
like no, and then the world kind of history repeats itself. And like children rediscover the Dat Boy meme. Like we discovered Kilroy is here.
I mean, I'd like to
like
think
they
that
just see it as this
continue.
they see it as like, dude, it's one of the earliest memes. And then they just use it ironically, and it's just gonna hurt all of us.
I think that I'd like to think that the cream will rise to the top, meaning that Dat Boy will be erased from everyone's memory.
It was look, not to sound lofty, but it was impactful, man.
Was it? Who cares about that boy?
I would say it was.
Sorry.
Everyone knew what it was.
We all knew what it was. But what kind of lasting
you saw that
impact?
stupid
I mean, look
fucking
at
frog on
hold on.
that
Let's look at the
stupid
poster
unicycle.
boy for a second, right? Doge, perfect.
Pepe?
Nah, Pepe is great and all. Pepe is
The
also a good
perfect
example
pupper.
of that. But also
Doge is
also
the
Doge.
single most versatile
Doge
meme.
is so evolved at this point. We've got like big buff Doge. We got like Cheems and shit. Like it's this right now. Doge is going through the exact same cycle that we were just talking about. Like
Doge
around,
is going
like,
through
I
the
don't know,
second
7 years
renaissance
ago.
right now.
Doge was making the rounds initially, and then it took a few years of a break, and now it's making the rounds again in an ironic fashion, with right alongside Cheems.
I would always say that Doge was always relevant, just to different groups.
Doge is timeless.
Doge is a versatile meme. It is impressive.
Yeah, you're gonna be sitting
the
on
buff-
your rocking chair on the porch when you're like 75 and your grandchildren are gonna
Smoking
rock to you like,
joint.
hey grandpa, look at the funny Doge. And it's like, I don't remember the first time I saw the Doge. I don't remember.
I'm older than that fucking meme.
Oh my
I take a
God.
big old hit of my joint, blow it into my grandkid's face. This is probably why I'm not gonna have kids.
Holy shit.
Ryan and I recently we bought some stuff off the internet
Oh.
that you can't buy at our age normally.
Organs?
No, we were buying kidneys on the dark
That's
web.
fucking epic, dude.
But basically, with one of the things we bought, they sent us a fun little necklace, and it's like this gold chain that has like a diamond-studded weed leaf on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so ugly, but I love it so
That's
much.
character. That's charm.
That's ballin'.
if we want to delve into a really quick topic that's been itching at me as of late, my brother, who's a decent bit older than I am, really summed it up recently when we were hanging out, and he just said, our generation ruined Reddit, and I kind of have to agree with him.
Oh, that's
on it.
100% like true. That's 100%.
Our fucking the Gen Z retards just ruined. They ruined.
Yeah, they did.
Reddit.
Kind of be doing that though.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's so many angry angry white boy anarcho communists
Yeah,
on
oh my
Reddit,
God.
and it's really funny.
Well, the range
They're
is
like,
so
dude,
severe.
just burn it all down.
The range is just so severe though. Like on one end you have people like ranting about like tear down the establishment, new fucking anarchical state, and then on the other end you have people like arguing about fucking Game Grumps sucks. Game Grumps has been bad since John left. It's just so severe.
Yeah.
And everything in between, and it's just so funny.
Well, what was really surreal was like to forget how diverse Reddit really is in terms of like what subreddits exist, because r/Pennsylvania was on the front page today, and I was not prepared for that at all.
What for?
First of all, did I not realize that my state even had its own subreddit?
Yeah, it is. It's called
I
r/braincells.com.
I knew Philly had a subreddit because the Philly subreddit went nuts during the rioting.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't it be?
But I didn't know that there was like a general PA one. And it was basically just talking about how like again, I'm not gonna say it, but our C-word virus statistics went down.
Yeah.
Like our like PA's getting relatively clean for the most
Our
part.
tyrant governor.
Yeah, our
Well,
tyrant
apparently,
virus.
coronavirus cases went up in like 19 states recently.
Yeah. I wonder
yeah,
why.
no, it's gotten worse.
Yeah,
in
I wonder
California.
fucking why.
Oh,
Everybody be angry.
everybody be angry. Everybody be going to the beach. It's warm
I don't
out.
know. I'm curious to see what the July patch has in store
No,
for us.
boy.
What bets are we taking on? What is something actually feasible that could somehow make this year
War
worse
with
in
China.
July?
Yeah, something
Feasible.
with China would,
Trump gets
would maybe
reelected.
happen.
That's one.
If Trump gets reelected, this country's gonna fucking
Oh, it's gonna
split
burn
down
to the
middle.
ground. Trump gets reelected, which is kind of like I'm stuck in the middle. I'm like, I don't like Joe Biden, and then on the other end, I'm like, Trump kind of stinks too. So I'm like, fuck.
Big stinky poopy.
Another stinky election year, boys. Looks
Yep.
like we're not voting again this year. I'm gonna pledge my First Amendment right not to vote. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, that's
I plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth on voting.
My girlfriend is getting very mad at me because I said I won't vote for either of them.
Well, you gotta choose,
Hey, man.
Ryan. You gotta choose.
Real quick, I'm just gonna say Retrogrades endorses Andrew Yang. That is confirmed.
Andrew Yang, come on the show.
Man,
please.
hey man, I don't like to get political, but Andrew Yang, if you want to come talk about math on our podcast, I will literally just sit
Political.
here
We
and
were
listen to
shouting,
you talk for 3
you
hours
fucked Joe
straight.
Biden 2 episodes ago.
I feel like it would be bad for Andrew
Did I-
Yang's
did we-
publicity
did
to
we-
go on this
did I
podcast.
can't- I
Because
cannot
like,
remember.
what business does he have here?
I don't know.
Why is he
He
going
can
on
come
these
get in
random
tune
kids'
with his younger
podcasts?
voters. He can come get in tune with his younger voters.
Look, man, if Andrew Yang can go on the H3 podcast, he can come on the Retrogrades podcast anytime.
Oh, wait, hold on. Be careful of the language you're using. Don't say "come on," you know.
Oh yeah, you're
Jo-
Appear
join
on.
us.
Yeah.
Appear on.
You know, we don't want to.
Yes. So for future reference, Andrew Yang, open invitation if you ever get around to
Absolutely, that'd be
this.
cool.
Do we want to send any more open invitations while we're here? Just certain people we want to get on.
Jeff Bezos.
I don't want Jeff Bezos on this fucking show.
I wanna-
I probably would.
I don't.
No, I want nothing to do with that guy.
Alex Jones, Ben
I don't want
Shapiro,
Elon. I don't want
Joe
Elon
Rogan.
on here either.
Yeah, I'm gonna debate the shit out of Ben Shapiro. Watch it happen.
I
Which
would
Jew
love
would
to see
win?
Ben Shapiro
Yeah.
on Retro.
Who's the bigger Jew? You or
I-
Ben?
I mean, like, listen.
I feel like it's definitely
it's
Adam.
undeniably Ben. Like, it absolutely is.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm like
guess.
I'm Jewish, but like I'm hardly Jewish, you know. Like,
That's so
That's
not true.
dude.
I once saw you at a party dazily just start dancing and singing Hebrew hymns. in a living room
I mean,
full of people.
well, I guess there's different ways to express our Judaism.
that you
and
didn't
stuff.
know. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But that was just awesome. I had never felt more like my religion growing up sucked when I saw you
That
do
was
that.
a
'cause
real
that
treat.
looked like
I was
so much
outside,
fun.
but when I came back in, I saw Adam dancing around like the Joker, singing a Hebrew song.
For the record, it was probably Hava Nagila.
It is.
That's my favorite
oh
one.
God,
It's
it
just it's
seems
so
like-
hype. Okay, listen. Okay, a lot of Jewish music tends to sound very sad, especially our prayers. They sound very sad and depressing. But
That's
like we got
religion
some
for
hype.
ya.
We got some bangers. I won't lie.
You were talking.
Does Christianity have any bangers?
Yes.
What?
Yaseh
What do we
Shalom
have?
is kind of a banger.
The Crusades.
Well, that's.
That was a banger.
Wait, what did he just say?
The Crusades were a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they took back the Holy Land. I don't know what you want.
I mean, what's it called? Hanukkah's got
Um,
some bangers. You know, well, there's bangers. all
Adam,
over the
speaking
place.
of sad
Oh,
Jewish
Our
things.
Father is a fucking banger.
Yeah, as long as
Our Father is a
we're here,
bop.
sure. What's it called?
If
So
you're
I've been watching this
Catholic,
little TV show called
My
Shtisel.
country, tis of me.
A lot of people have probably heard of this show on Netflix called Unorthodox, which I have not seen yet. But this show Shtisel is about this family of Orthodox Jews, the Shtisel family, you know. Yeah. And it's basically just about how it's actually kind of a lot to do with like marriage and like loneliness and stuff like that, and kind of how their
Sounds
religion
sad.
kind of
It sounds
restricts
right
them
up my alley.
from kind of being their true selves, I feel. But maybe that's just my secular bias talking. I don't know. Either way, it's a good show, I think. It's just really sad, and maybe I shouldn't be watching it during this time. But also, it kind of keeps. I mean, it you know, being involved in other people's drama kind of lets you forget about real things.
That's also true.
Dude, escapism, baby. That's what we're all here for.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
That's the goal.
yeah, it's fucking what's it called? What was I gonna say? I don't know. The whole show is just so much tea.
If I'm in a dour mood, I'm sure I'll get around
Yeah.
to it.
Me too.
It's
Coming back from work, I'm sure I'll be in a dour
I
mood.
need some escapism. All I've been watching is Pirates of the Caribbean and Jewish shows. So there you go.
Wait, what was that?
do you
second?
want me to
What's
do you want me to
this?
tell you like some of the main things that happen in the show? Some of the main conflicts.
Yes. Spill the tea.
No, well,
Give us a teaser. Give us a
I kinda-
teaser.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll give
give
you a
me
teaser.
give me
Show a
one,
little
give me
leg.
one
Show a
plot
little
point.
leg for us here.
Essentially, so
Give us a
so
little,
there's this
give us a little thigh slit.
So one of the characters, Akiva, is trying to find his own way in life, and the biggest part of that is kind of who he wants to marry. Now, how it typically works is that in Orthodox culture, at least I believe that's how it's portrayed in this show, is basically you're kind of it's kind of like arranged marriage. There's kind of like a matchmaker involved usually, and a matchmaker will like put two people together, and there's like a lot of pressure around like getting married very early on. Just starting that family as soon as you can, make more Jews and such. And the problem is there's this there's this woman that he wants to marry, but she doesn't really want him back, and also like the matchmaker, like she's kind of like out of the pool right now. I don't know. It's complicated, but like he's struggling with this arranged marriage business, and his father is very much like, oh, you gotta get married like right now.
It's a Jewish Love Island, basically.
Yeah, it's like Jewish Love Island. I would say Jewish depressing
That's
Love
exactly
Island,
the
but
tone I picked up on.
Jewish just
Love
kind
Island's kind of
implies-
depressing too, so let's keep that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I recommend it though. It's all in Hebrew, so if you have a problem with reading
Oh, I like
subtitles,
that. No, I like
everyone
that.
who didn't want to watch Parasite for that reason.
Well, I've been adding people for not liking subtitles for a while.
Yeah.
It's really funny with the last movie.
Yeah, it just sounds better.
What was the last
It just-
movie you
it's
watched
better
in
with
Hebrew?
subtitles rather than subtitles.
Hold on. 1 second. What was the last movie you watched in Hebrew?
Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the
That's
Christ
Aramaic,
isn't.
yeah.
It's Aramaic. That's
I'm retarded.
Yeah,
Can you cut that?
no, that's staying in. It's not. It's Aramaic.
Oh god, that's funny.
Oh, the Passion of the Christ. I've never seen the
Me
Passion of the
neither.
Christ.
I'm not
actually.
planning on it either.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I
I've heard it's just kind of a slug to get through. It's just really sad.
I'm
It's just
fucking
torture
sick and tired of
Yeah.
Jesus looking like a One
I just
Direction
want-
guy. Fucking stupid.
Baby.
I mean, do you guys remember? Didn't Willem Dafoe play Jesus?
Give me brown
Yeah, he did.
Jesus.
sir.
Give me brown Jesus. Right
Yeah,
now.
give me what Jesus
Maybe
actually
Jesus
looked
was
like,
black.
please. Please
Maybe
give me
Jesus
brown
had dreads. Spider-Man should be black. I'd vote for Glover instead.
I vote for Glover instead.
Logic. God, I hate myself.
You know who I hate even more than
Logic.
yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, ouch. Logic, don't come on the show.
I'm
man.
kidding. I'm
Get the
kidding.
fuck out.
I'm
Come
kidding.
back
I
and
don't-
Clap.
I'm kidding. I'm sure he's a very nice man. It's just Confessions of a Dangerous Mind was shit.
And so is most of his discography, I'd say. But that's
I spit at you.
that's
Logic.
just facts.
It is what it is.
Gangly
Yeah,
finger.
that's on the test.
Have you guys seen Logic's hands? They are so strange.
I've never really thought about Logic's hands.
Nah, you need to look.
What
at
was that? What was the one meme that someone made? And it was Anthony Fantano talking to someone else, and it said, "Thank you, Logic, for your impressive conversation with Logic."
I forget who the other person was, but Anthony was like.
But do you remember that
I
meme?
think Anthony was interviewing
Yeah.
another white-looking bald man with glasses.
He was. I can't remember who. Oh God, yeah. Logic's fingers are
Lex
weird.
Luthor looking ass out here.
Yeah, I wish I
He
could
really
find
does
that
have
meme
big
again.
old fingies.
Oh.
Oh my God, his fingers are so long. Dylan, if you want to edit in just a picture of any picture of Logic with his hands,
I think we
up,
found the art for the episode today, boy.
the Logic's
What have
big. Dude, look how, dude, he has more veins in his hand than I do.
Logic with big fucking gray alien fingers.
Wait, why can't I see it? Am I dumb?
Oh.
Where is it?
He's got big old gangly fingers.
I didn't send
Wait,
it.
where's the image?
Oh
Am I
my
stupid?
God, the one of him
Like
doing
a
like
Dark Souls
air
boss.
I just
with
googled
hands.
Logic's
Fuck.
hands.
Get out of here, man.
Also, why is Logic like kind of ripped?
Oh yeah, what's it called? He just kind of started working out at some point. I don't know.
Good
Yeah.
for him.
Slim thick
I'm glad
out
he's
here.
getting in shape. He should go back to making good music.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
if you put as much effort into your music as you do your own fucking body.
Hey man, I'll tell him to self-love over music any day.
Look, all I'm saying
Good
is
for Logic.
you have a shitty discography, Logic. Get your fucking head out of your fucking butthole and get working.
Damn.
I second that message.
Oh, let's move on, please.
Logic rapper under pressure quotes. What?
Logic. Oh,
I mean,
At least his old stuff was
my
good.
stomach.
Your tummy hurt from whacking too hard.
I'm just picturing Logic with big fucking like gray alien. Like you get abducted by a fucking spaceship later.
You get
night.
abducted by a
Yeah, and you
ship
wake
of
up and Logic
Logics.
is standing there, and they're like, you know, I had to do it to him pose, but his fingers are like fucking 3 feet long.
Just salad fingers, Logic.
okay. While we're on the subject of music, actually, I want to bring this up because sometimes I'm in the Discord, like before a D&D session or whatever.
Oh.
And like, listen. I know that Gangnam Style, like we're over it now. But Psy is a good artist, and we all need to wake up and see this, right?
Clap it up.
Thank
Clap it
you.
up for Sai. Yeah,
Thank
clap it up.
I refuse to clap.
What? Get the fuck out.
I
Get the
take
fuck
a knee.
out of
I
here.
take a
Get
knee.
out of here with that shit. Sai's a good fucking guy.
Nah,
He really is.
I hate Zai. I hate him.
Do you guys remember when he first got famous and then there was like that whole thing because he like
Hates
talked
America.
shit on America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is he wrong to?
Yeah, that's also kind of true.
I don't think.
Apparently
I don't think he's
the
wrong, too.
initial translation of the song that that was being talked about was like not entirely accurate. Apparently, it was more that he was just anti-torture. Or
Fake
maybe he
news,
was
fake
anti-American. I don't know. Maybe I could be doing.
I mean,
fake
if you're
news right now.
anti-torture, you're essentially anti-American.
He
don't
saw
you?
too many dogs getting crushed by heel videos from America, and he's like, you know what? This is my final straw. I'm gonna start making music against America.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Papa preach.
But no.
Okay, but
I mean,
I want to.
I don't care about. I don't care about his general opinions. I don't like his music.
Well, let me just
Sorry.
mention some bangers, right? So, we've got "I Love It," which love is spelled L-U-V, of course, because that's cool.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's a good one. "New Face" is really good.
Is face spelled with a PH? ACE?
I wish.
Or is new spelled
I really
N-U, like new metal.
And also his best song, his absolute best song is called
somebody bring up
Napalbaji.
nu metal?
Okay, please listen to it.
His
Very
best song is Gangnam Style. Get the fuck out.
Dude, hold up. Guys, I want to see a Psy Limp Bizkit crossover.
Look, I'm saying it's Adam. It's no champagne showers, okay?
It's no champagne showers, but
Can we talk about that story real quick?
Holy shit! I don't even remember how it started. Oh well.
Adam, that's fucking psycho.
Do you want me? Do you want me to
someone else
wait,
tell it?
Dylan? Do you want me to tell it, or do you?
Someone else tell it. It was kind of like an out of body experience for me.
I'll tell the story. No, I don't know what you're talking. I'm talking about like when we were outside and shit. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
champagne showers. Yeah. So we were walking around campus. This is like probably like the last week.
Oh yeah, when I tried to climb a tree.
Yeah, this is like the last week before we all had to go our separate ways because of this dumb fucking T virus.
C word.
Anyway.
The C word.
Yeah. So fucking we're walking around and we got the speakers blaring. We're playing some music. We were throwing the frisbee around and then we're all just chilling around a bench. And Adam, this fucking schizomaniac over here, just started having a fucking like freak out. He was like, "Play champagne showers. Play champagne showers.
We gotta play champagne showers. We gotta play it. We gotta play it. Guys, the music video came out on my birthday in 2011.
No, and then
those were his exact words.
no, who had the fucking speaker? Was it like Andrew or someone?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. So like then finally
Yeah,
champagne showers
I was
finally
running
came
the
up
music.
for like 10 seconds and someone skipped. I think you skipped it or something. And Adam
Shay
just had like
skipped
the
it.
look of just dread and he looked like Charlie Brown for like 2 seconds. He was just walking around.
Hold on. It was not dread. It was maybe a second of dread and then quickly turned to rage.
And then he ran away and hid in a bush someplace.
10 seconds of champagne
Well,
shower
I didn't
played
hide
and
in
Adam
the bush.
turned
I
around
sat
and
against a wall.
no, you turned around and you yelled, "Who turned that off?"
to a
And Shay
bush.
raised her hand.
And then you played it for real and then he started doing his fucking Joker
Yeah,
glitter dance.
And then I started dancing, and no one else danced with me, but it was fine because I was in the zone.
There's like a minute and a half video out there of you just
Oh,
dancing
yeah,
to champagne
I have
showers,
that
like
video.
just by yourself.
I'll play it here.
Dylan, feel free to edit that into the episode.
That would be great.
Oh god.
Oh, that was a good
Dang,
time.
that just made me miss life for a second.
I miss you, boy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when people used to be able to do things.
Yeah.
God, I'm so excited to look back on this time when I'm old.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so funny.
It is gonna be funny.
It's gonna be a strange time to think about.
It's gonna be like, that was a really weird part of my life.
I spent way too much time with you.
I lived, worked, and breathed this man sitting next to me.
Ride me here. Mr. Legend.
We have the same room, the same job, and the same everything.
The
We
same
breathe
girlfriend.
the same air. I do not share his girlfriend. I am very proudly single and alone, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
Oh, you whiny bitch.
I ain't whining. I'm happy. I got me and my cat.
Hey, you can't be Shane Dawson.
Isn't Shane Dawson has a boyfriend?
Shane
doesn't he?
Dawson?
Shane Dawson fucked his cat.
I don't know.
Did he?
Allegedly.
Wait, no,
I don't-
he's gay.
we're
Ah,
not- I'm not-
jeez.
Oh, now I can't watch him no more. Yeah, get the
No,
fuck
now
out
I
of here.
can't.
Shane.
Now I can't watch his documentary.
I'm 90% sure he's bi.
Yeah.
He has
He is definitely bi.
he has a boyfriend currently.
What?
He also defended
talked
Tana
about this Shane
Mongeau, so
Dawson.
get the fuck out of here.
I think didn't we talk about Shane Dawson's documentaries briefly in another
Probably.
episode?
I don't remember. We probably did, to be honest.
We talked about it at some point.
God, they're so bad.
I haven't
so
watched them
pretentious.
myself,
They're such-
but like from the clips that I've seen, it's just
individually,
like,
there's-
why are you putting this information out there?
This
to
looks like
people?
something that like a kid in one of our film classes would make.
Well, individually, the topics are all really interesting, actually, I would say. But the problem is he just like throws a bunch of crap into these videos. Like the one that he does about the woman who was like in an abusive relationship and like escaped with her and her kid.
Yeah.
And then he goes to like another part where he's talking about like, does Chuck E. Cheese reuse their pizza slices? And it's like, you were just talking about this woman being like abused and how she escaped it in the book she wrote about it. And then you're like taking a ruler to Chuck E. Cheese to see if the length of the pizza slices
Yeah,
are different.
mid-interview, like she's talking about the abuse, and then he's like, "What do you have to say about Chuck E. Cheese and their reuse of the pizza slices?" Well, I want you to get your opinion on the record right now. And she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Oh,
What are you fucking?"
by the way, Chuck E. Cheese is going bankrupt soon, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, they're
like
nearly $1 billion in
in
debt.
debt.
Apparently.
Chuck E.
the
Cheese is a
hell?
relic of a bygone era. So like, good riddance.
Yeah, it's like it used to be like, oh, arcades are not profitable anymore because people are just gonna play video games at home. Oh well, what if we like have like
Serve beer
pizza and like prizes?
Beer
Nah,
there.
we're still
Let's have
gonna
beer.
play video games at home.
Yeah, let's let the sad moms just get drunk as shit.
That just reminds me of when
And
we
then
would sit in Joe's
fight
room and
each
watch the
other
fucking
at the
Chuck E. Cheese
ghetto
fights in a fucking hour-long video.
Of what?
Just
people
all these fucking like
fighting in a
old
Chuck E.
like
Cheese?
mothers drunk off their asses start like pulling their weaves out and shit, just start beating the fuck out of each other.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I showed you that one where it was like the 10-second clip of like
Yeah.
a Chuck E. Cheese in Florida, and it literally looked like the scene from Kingsman when they're fighting
Mm-hmm.
in the church, because like there are like 15 different fights happening like simultaneously. Like someone knocked down the fucking ticket machine. There were kids running all over the place, and all these like Jersey Shore like trailer
Battle
park trash were just
Royale.
beating the ever-loving shit out of each other for probably no good reason.
Wait, did you say that took place in Florida?
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
Beautiful. I love Florida.
Florida's a great place. The only time I've been
it's
to
a gold mine
Florida,
of comedy.
I was hit up by a couple evangelists.
Oh boy.
And
Nice.
it was a good time.
That
But,
comes
also,
with the
but then we
town.
went to
been to-
Publix and we got their cookies.
I've been to Florida twice in my life.
You really showed them.
Both times were to go to Disney World because we were that family.
Oh, you went to Disney World.
Well, I mean, no,
World.
that's a good time. I mean, I went
I
to
mean, so
Legoland
both-
once,
both
which
times-
is different, but I mean, that was
both-
cool.
I know,
yeah.
man.
Both times I was in Florida, I was in Orlando both times, and like, dude, I fucking hate Orlando. Like, the Disney parks are really fun, but also I just, like, it stings a little bit just because I fucking hate the Disney company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I
But
am
Space
nostalgic
Mountain's
for
so
a lot
fun,
of your products,
though.
but goddamn, but Space Mountain. But oh,
Hey,
God.
Space Mountain is fun.
Yeah, it is. But I just don't, dude. I fucking hate the city of Orlando. I know a lot of people really like it, but that's just.
I've just
not my
never been
vibe.
to the city.
No.
I feel like most people just go to
Orlando-
Orlando for the parks and shit.
They do.
Yeah.
Orlando looks more like a backdrop than a real city. Like, you know the fruit store in The Interview? That awful Seth Rogen, James Franco
Oh,
movie?
stop!
Yeah.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, it's like that. Just the fake fruit. That is the epitome of Orlando.
I remember watching that movie. I had to watch that movie the most backwards way possible because they didn't officially release
Oh
it.
yeah, they never did. Didn't they?
Because Kim Jong Un threatened them.
Yeah. Hackers.
I mean,
He-
they
like, this
released
man
it
was
on
about to start
YouTube. I
World War
thought like
III
they
over
were.
a movie. Well, no, we had to go through some website to get it.
I'm pretty sure we just rented it
'Cause
on YouTube.
I remember my family. It was funny because my family and I, we were like so enticed. We were like, oh my god, like they've gone through all this trouble to release it this way, even though Kim Jong Un was like, no, don't do it.
Huh.
And we were like, all right, we'll watch it. And we went through all this effort to watch it on like Christmas evening, like the day it came out, and we were all like, oh, okay.
great holiday
After it was
film.
over,
Yeah,
we were
and
like,
then it was just what
Yeah.
it was, and then
Yeah.
hey, it was better than watching Elf for the 18th year. in a
holy
row.
shit! I've watched Elf
I know Elf
literally
hasn't
more
been out for
times than I've
18
watched
years,
any
but-
other movie, and I'm
I
not even
hate
Christian.
Elf
I mean, I don't know anything
so
about Christmas, but
fucking
no, we
much.
watched it. Yeah.
I don't mind Will Ferrell. I think he's funny in a lot of things, but I just don't get it with Elf.
I mean, actually, it's a funny movie. The first couple times.
It's not.
Some
It's
bits are
not.
good.
Zoe Deschanel's in it.
She's cute.
Yeah, but she doesn't even play a character.
She has a pretty singing voice.
Okay.
And then she looks into the camera and says, "Watch New Girl."
They sing the really creepy. They sing the really creepy Christmas song.
Yeah.
That I can't remember who was it. It was John Legend and who else did a cover of that, and it's really
Chrissy
funny.
Teigen.
I don't
Does she
think that's.
sing?
No.
I don't think that's
I'm
correct.
like
don't think
almost
so.
certain she doesn't.
No, they did a cover of it, and it is. I remember my sister sent it to me when we were at school around Christmas time, and god damn it, I was like actually rolling on the floor laughing because it's like John Legend. She's like, it's like I can't remember exactly how the song goes, but it's like, my mother will start to worry, and then John Legend was just basically singing to her, "Go home." It wasn't like the creepy original one where he's like, "No, I'll pour you another drink. Come on, hang out with me." And she's like, "No, I should probably leave." In the new one, she's
the
like,
fuck home.
"I should probably go." And the guy's like, "Yeah, nah, leave. Just go. I'll call you an Uber."
So Meehan, you don't like it
Give
when
me-
when you're at the mall or someplace and some quirky chick in front of you is on the escalator and she's doing the elf thing where she has like one foot on like one step and like another foot and like 6 steps behind her. You don't like that?
Yeah, just doing the splits on the
Yeah, doing the splits
on the
on stairs,
escalator
or-
casually.
Or you know, like the iconic I'm singing, I'm in the mall and I'm singing or something like that or whatever. You don't like that?
And I'm singing.
Where is this coming from?
Dude, I know I could probably, like, if you sat me down to put on the movie Elf, I could say every line of dialogue verbatim before the movie says it. I'm not saying I'm proud of that fact, but first of all, I need to get these fucking pictures of Logic off my screen. Sorry, Ryan pulled up a reference image and I needed it gone.
Logic was just peering at us.
I could just see his gangly fingers over my Discord. But no, we literally, my family, sorry, I almost said literally, my dad has been drilling into me for saying literally so much. But my family watched Elf every year around Christmas time. And like every year, sometimes multiple times a year around Christmas. And oh boy, do I have that movie memorized from back to front. 10 a.m. Santa's coming to town. Santa! Because it's just the whole movie is just Will Ferrell screaming like a man child.
Well, Jack, don't you understand?
Dad!
Loud is
Dad!
funny. Dude. That's why.
I have a
he's famous so
similar
much. Loud is
topic.
funny.
So Halloween movies. There's a very specific movie
Halloween Town.
I was gonna say.
every year.
I think we were all gonna say Halloween Town. but
it's
go on,
not
Ryan.
Halloween Town.
What did you watch?
Hocus Pocus.
Oh, that's just a good movie.
I love that movie so much.
Are we just gonna spend this portion of the episode just sucking the dick of Hocus Pocus?
Yes,
It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
fun.
I haven't seen Hocus Pocus in forever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Halloween movies at my house didn't really consist. Yeah, we had like Halloween Town when it played on Disney, but also like my neighbor would just play like Friday the 13th for a bunch of 8-year-olds,
Yes,
and it was
yes.
like, oh boy, was that, dude. In retrospect, that stuff. I was like, when it came to horror when I was a kid, I couldn't do any
me
horror.
neither.
I would freak the fuck out.
Really?
No, I was like, dude. Do you guys remember the movie Monster House?
Yeah.
Good
I
movie,
know
good
I've
movie.
spoken to some. I know I've spoken to some of you about this. I've spoken to Ryan about this at length. That movie is a source of trauma for me.
Really?
I love that movie.
Because I was about 7 years old when that movie came out. I was 7 when the commercials were airing over the summer that it was like coming out around Halloween, and then I think it came out right before I turned 8, and it scared the ever living shit out of me. I don't know why. There was something about like the way that movie was animated. The way
it was like if the
rotoscoped.
guys who made Jimmy
or motion
Neutron were on
capped.
acid. That's what the art style is.
Yeah, but like it was like the Jimmy Neutron art style, except it was like way like more uncanny valley like,
Yeah.
and it was motion capture.
Yeah.
So everyone moves really.
It's like that fucking Donkey
realistically,
Kong
and it
Country
almost
cartoon
makes.
from the 90s.
Oh god,
my
it's
God.
terrifying. And like I remember like They retcon it at the end because I think whatever studio made that movie told the animators that they had to have the scene at the end for when the house blows up, all the people crawl out of it. Like, everyone lived. But I remember, like, seeing the ads for it. Like, my brain immediately went to, like, when the house, like, when the carpet came out and, like, grabbed people and ate them. My brain went, those people are dead and never coming back, and that concept mortifies me. I remember, like,
That would have been a fun little way to, like, kick up the trauma on a kid's movie.
Well, I remember,
Bones ain't coming back, baby.
So I saw that when I saw I had never even seen the movie. I only saw commercials of it, and it scared the shit out of me. I refused to watch the movie. What was even funnier was, on a birthday in the future, it was like, you know, it was one of those elementary school birthday parties where, like, you just kind of invite your elementary school class, even if they're not really all your friends. Yeah. So, like, I would invite everyone in my class, and there was this one girl in my class who, like, I really don't know what about my personality led her to believe that this would be, like, a really just solid gift for 8-year-old me. But this girl in my class got me a DVD copy of Monster House. And I was sitting in my living room, and I opened it. I guess it was... No, I know what it was. It was because I really loved Halloween. That was my favorite holiday, and I remember whenever we would do, like, Halloween parades at school, I would get super into it, and my costumes would always be really elaborate.
This poor girl,
I loved Halloween. So I think she thought, she was like, oh, he likes scary stuff, so she got me that movie on DVD.
And you shat your pants.
And no, you want to know what I did? I peeled back the wrapping paper. I saw the color of the box. I didn't even see the full art. I saw, like, the weird blue hue that they, like, it that was behind the house. I was like, I know exactly what this is. And I still went through with it anyway, and I opened the whole thing, and then I just saw in big red letters, Monster House. I lifted my arm, and I chucked it across the room. I just threw it. She literally handed it to me. She was sitting right in front of me. I opened it and threw it. And my mom knew exactly why. She saw the DVD and went, oh my fucking God. She was like, of all the movies. So I opened it and chucked it, and the girl's mom looked like, whoa. And my mom just goes, oh, he's just really excited.
That's, yeah.
Fun fact, I have no idea what happened to that copy of Monster House.
I
don't
think
know
it
where
was
it is.
disposed of for your own good.
So I was gonna give my little anecdote there, but yeah, the story does eventually come full circle. I did eventually watch Monster House, but there are two. I watched it one time, but with no sound.
Really?
I'll get to that. And then I did eventually. That was when I was like 13. And then I finally watched the movie in its entirety, full sound, everything from beginning to end credits. I watched the whole thing when I was 17 years old, almost a decade later.
Shit. Childhood trauma does that shit.
Jesus.
The time when I was 13 though, the time when I was 13 made it worse for some reason, because I remember we used to have, like, the go-to place to be for when I was a youngin' was in, like, our old office. Yeah. And it literally had this, like, old, terrible green corduroy half couch. Yeah. It was literally, like, the ugliest couch ever, but I loved it so much. And we had, like, a small desk with an old, shitty, pre-built Dell computer.
Oh, shit.
And a TV in there. And so I would go in there to watch TV a lot because my dad always hogged the main living room one.
Yeah.
So I would go in there to watch TV, and I remember I can't remember what channel it was playing on, but Monster House was playing. And I remember 13-year-old me just took in a deep breath and just went, I'm gonna do this. It's like, I'm gonna sit down and watch it. But I had actually turned it on when it was, like, halfway through the movie. So I started halfway through with a lot of it missing, but I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch what I can watch. And then my older sister came in, and she was doing homework, and she was like, I need you to turn the fucking TV down. So I literally turned it down to, like, nothing so I could barely hear it, and then she started playing music really loudly, so I literally just watched the back half of Monster House like it was a silent film.
Oh my God.
And then I just had Phoebe's music playing over it, and I can't remember what I can't remember who the artist was, but I remember how the song went, and it was like the one where it's like, forever young,
Yeah.
I wanna
Forever
be
Young.
forever. Yeah, it was just, she played that on loop. She played that on loop for like the entirety of the movie.
God.
So not only was it worse to sort of watch this movie with little to no
nightmare.
context, because it was, and with Forever Young playing in the background on loop for like an hour. So anytime I heard that song after that, I associated it to the visuals of the climax of
Holy
Monster House.
shit.
And then when I was 17 years old, I was like, had a TV in my room by that point, and, you know, I was just old enough to figure out how to pirate things, and I was like, you know what? It's been a decade since this has started to invade my life. I'm just gonna excise this demon. And I sat down, and I actually kind of enjoyed it.
Nice.
I mean, this is like a
Because-
really good topic to talk about, like media that traumatized us, like when we were little. Like, it's a really good topic.
I would have to say that, like, in terms of, like, aside from the fact that, like, I saw Friday the 13th and Psycho both at a and The Shining all at a very young age. That, seriously, all three of those movies did not scare the shit out of me as much as Monster House did. It's weird.
I remember
There's just something about Monster House that really got to me.
So when I was a kid, I was really into horror movies. Like, I loved watching, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when the Nightmare on Elm Street remake came out in, like, 2010, the awful, awful movie that it is, for some reason, the, like, 9-year-old me decided that movie was gonna scare the shit out of me. I could not sleep for 2 days as a 9-year-old after seeing that movie. It's not because of neglectful parents. That's because I was being dumb.
I made a mistake.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, yeah, a lot of times, like, my mom actually did a pretty good job of trying to, like, really, if something really did freak me out, she really did try her damnedest to, like, keep it away from me. But there were times where me being the little auteur filmmaker that I was like an 11-year-old, and The Shining was on HBO, and I knew the HBO login, and I was like, it's gamer time. And then I watched the entirety of The Shining as an 11-year-old by myself at like midnight on a Wednesday.
Damn. I mean,
And then I remember it came up in conversation recently where I was talking to my mom, and I talked about like how I had seen The Shining at that age, and she just goes, "How the hell did you see The Shining at 11?" And I was like, I knew all of your passwords, and she was like, that makes me so uncomfortable.
I mean, a couple
like,
of
"What else
things
did you-"
scared me when I was young. Like I was like the opposite of you guys. I didn't watch like the first like quote unquote like horror movie I watched was Jurassic Park when I was like 11.
Oh, that scared you?
No, it's not a it's a scary movie. It's a thriller. It's a horror like thriller.
It's like a
I wasn't
thriller.
scared by it, but like I watched the 2005 King Kong when I was 8, and the
Peter
tribes
Jackson
people
one.
scared the shit out. Like I couldn't sleep for 2 days after I watched them because like when they were hopping to the boat to catch Naomi Watts in the fucking boat, and just like the close-ups on all their face, like I just got so scared. Like that, like with their faces looked like they were rotting. They had all the piercings and shit, and like just like this yelling and all that. Like, and the 8-year-old me, I couldn't process it, and I just got so fucking scared out of my mind. Also, when I was younger too, I forget what movie this was. I think it was like the second Poltergeist movie. This is like when I was like channel surfing, like because when you're channel surfing, you like
Second
randomly just
Poltergeist
see
movie.
shit. But it was the scene in like Poltergeist 2 when I think the mother is like opening up a closet, and it's a closet full of like rotting skulls, like realistic like rotting like skulls, and they all like jump out, and I was like, oh no, this isn't good.
Yeah,
But on top of that, I used to be afraid of the Muppets when I was little. I had Muppets from Space on VHS, and I couldn't watch the movie for the longest time because Animal used to scare the shit out of me.
I don't have any like things that like traumatized me too much as a child, at least that were interesting. But I will say this is something that happened to me very recently, actually. So I was playing Apex Legends, as I am known to do. And so they added this new thing to the game called charge towers, where like you go up to it, like you can get a full charge of your ultimate immediately. It's like whatever, I don't know. And like there was a glitch in the game when those things first came out, where if an item was dropped like on the floor of those towers, you couldn't pick it up, and when you hovered your mouse over it, it wouldn't like show the little tooltip saying, "Oh, this is what it does." And I don't know why, but when I first discovered this glitch, like when I first went up to like pick an item up from the ground there, and I saw that that was the case, I got really uncomfortable. I don't know why, but like I remember my
creepypasta shit.
I remember my it's like Mario hacked my Wii U. It's like I don't know, my chest just got like really tight, and I like it was hard to breathe. Like not like it wasn't anything crazy, but it was like it was there, it was present, and I don't know why I ran away.
There needs to be a creepypasta about this. Adam playing Apex Legends.
Oh, hold up. I got one more addendum to our little conversation. Yeah. The movie AI, I watched when I was like 11. And my God, that movie fucked with me as a child. Especially the ending where like the aliens show up and he sees his mom for the last time. Oh my God, that like tortured my dreams for like 2 months as a kid.
I have a really weird set of things that got to me. So the story I'm about to tell all took place in the span of one night. I would have been about maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah.
The 8 to 10 period was like a really bad period for me in terms of the, or like 7 to 10.
Yeah.
That was like, those were the years where I really just figured out what scared the shit out of me. And so something that I used to do a lot was like, if I didn't feel like, if I had like a nightmare or something, or I was just like having a hard time sleeping in my room, because for whatever reason, my dad would just sleep on the couch all the time. And he still does to this day. He just really likes sleeping on couches. I remember I used to go downstairs with my dad, and I would just sit there with him and watch movies until I fell asleep. Yeah. But this one night, I can't remember what was initially on, but it was something that was like appropriate for me to watch, that like my dad was watching with me. And then it turned to Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds.
Oh no!
which in addition to just being a bad movie, just across the board, just gonna throw that out there. In retrospect, as an older person, super not good. However, at the time, basically aliens that did the same thing that Cell did in Dragon Ball scared the shit out of me. Like that premise, that concept of like the needle just going in people and them sucking the blood out of you until there's like nothing
make
left.
Like blood
concept,
plants and shit all over the world and shit.
Yeah, that stuff. The imagery in that movie really was just visceral for a 9-year-old. So then it gets better. So then I sort of dozed off for near the end of War of the Worlds, and I woke back up like no more than probably 30 minutes after the movie had ended. And to this day, I still cannot remember what movie this is, and hopefully this discussion might re-enlighten me. But it was a movie, I don't remember why, but I remember Will Smith being in it, but I've never heard of this movie outside of this one night that I watched it. But it was a movie about a bunch of people that were trying to rob a bank. I distinctly remember Jay-Z's Empire State of Mind playing in the movie. Like that song played. And I remember it ends with every single person in the robbery getting shot and killed. And as a kid, like watching that, I remember I had woken up for this movie, and then my dad was dead ass asleep and he had no idea what was on, and I was just like, ooh, now I'm vaguely interested in what this is. Then I got attached to these characters, and then they all just get blown to bits at the end by the police, and I was like, oh no! And then finally I dozed off again, and I woke back up, and lo and behold, I can't remember what channel this was on, but I want to burn down whichever one it was, because the next movie that was on was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito's Jr.
Oh, Christ.
Keep in mind, by the time Junior came on, it was like 3 in the morning, and I could not fall asleep, and I watched the entirety of Junior from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. as a 9-year-old.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
That was a rough night. That was
It-
a rough night.
it-
I remember like 5 years later. 5 years later, the movie Junior came back up in a conversation with my siblings, and I had like a panic attack.
Did you guys have any of those movies where you were like super sick and you would stay home and you kept the TV on and then you would wake up and there would just be this movie on and you wouldn't turn it off?
Yeah.
Because for me that happened and I ended up watching the original, I think it's Japanese version of The Grudge
Oh my god.
twice in a row.
Damn.
I watched it twice in a row in a night, and I remember I drank a Diet Coke for some reason because I thought that would help my stomach ache because I was like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I remember a lot of my sick days consisted of Teenage Mutant Ninja
That's how I
Turtles.
discovered How I Trained Your Dragon.
Ah,
Oh
yes.
yeah, that's a good movie.
I played a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, that too. Hardcore baby.
I just-
Best one.
I watched so many movies I shouldn't have watched. Like so many. I remember I saw District 9 when it came out, and District 9 came out when I was like 8.
Oh Jesus! You watched
Good
that
movie.
at 8 years old. Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, I
so
watched
did
I watched District 9 when I was like 8.
It's funny, that was another one of those movies where I woke up and thought that movie was a fever dream for like 2
Guy
months.
turns into Crab Man. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
What did
Yeah,
I eat last night?
I was seeing shit.
I distinctly remember watching Psycho as a 10-year-old and it scaring the shit out of me, but also I really fucking loved it. I still love Psycho. That movie.
Yeah,
What, that movie
is-
with Vince Vaughn killing that person?
Oh god. Have you guys ever seen the Psycho sequels?
No.
Have you ever seen the Exorcist sequels? Those are bad.
Okay. Exorcist 3 is really good.
Okay. Exorcist 2.
Yes. Everyone knows Exorcist 2 is shit, but Exorcist 3 is actually like very, very good.
I mean, it's nothing compared to the first movie.
It's still really.
I
good,
still never
though.
seen it. I still never seen any of them.
It's based off this. Oh, you've never seen
Nope,
the Exorcist?
I haven't seen a lot of horror movies.
That is one of my. This is gonna be a fun Halloween
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
definitely.
Because I seriously horror. I am a big fan of the horror genre. just in
Except if
general.
they're animated like Jimmy Neutron, and fucking there's a house with a rug and eating people.
I think being exposed to as many horror movies as I was as a kid made me a lot more tolerant of horror movies as an adult. I genuinely do love horror movies, and I love whenever a new one comes out, and they're actually good.
Well, I was the opposite of you guys.
Um,
Like when you guys were little and you watched all these horror movies before and all that, I was like that in the sense where I watched movies that I shouldn't have, but instead of horror, I watched a lot of like comedies, like raunchy comedies and shit. I watched the first American Pie when I was like fucking 12 years old.
Ugh.
I love that movie. Get the fuck out of here.
I know.
I have fucking American Pie trash brain on the brain. And I watched I watched all the sequels when I was like coming to like adolescence and shit. And I was just like, wow, this is what college and high school is like? Wow. And then I was like, no, that's not even remotely close.
No, not at all.
Remotely close. I watched fucking Old School when I was 10. First Hangover when I was 10.
Ugh. I remember we had the DVD of Old School, and I remember the circle of the DVD was right over Will Ferrell's ass, so you couldn't see his
I just
butt.
watched all these shitty like raunchy comedies when I was like young, which is probably bad.
We had a
Yeah.
we had a handful of those growing up in my house, but surprisingly, I watched just because my dad, and he literally is the king of channel surfing and just watching whatever comes by him. I watched so many old movies. Like I saw The Man with No Name trilogy
Really?
probably by the time I was I had seen all three of them probably by the time I was 11. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is still one of my favorite movies. Period. I fucking love that movie.
I just watched a lot of King of Queens and fucking Everybody Loves Raymond.
My mom.
Yeah.
That was my
Big fan.
mom's contribution to my media growing up.
We have the first season on Blu-ray. Everybody Loves
My
Raymond.
dad legitimately My dad legitimately loves the first Paul Blart movie.
Oh no.
Like, I think he knows it's terrible, but he just thinks it's funny.
Okay, that's a big fact.
Because it's so
Yeah.
bad.
You get some entertainment value out of it. Because
Wait,
dog shit
I have actually a really funny story about this.
About Paul Blart.
It's not even like about the movie itself. Okay, so there was this time in 9th grade. Sorry, I'm all choked up now. There was this time in 9th grade where or I don't know, it was around then where we were all over at our buddy Christian's house. You know, like eating dinner and stuff. You know, we were like you know, had a nice home cooked meal courtesy of his parents, which, you know, I love his parents.
Epic.
Side note. Anyway, what's it called? We were, you know, showing each other memes as normal children do because that's just what things have come to.
Degenerate trash brain fucking retards. And my communicate through memes.
Yeah. and my boy Max is right next to me. And I feel like we're like on the same wavelength because we have like pretty much the exact same sense of humor. Yeah. And he shows me this picture. I can't even think about it without laughing. It's so dumb. But he shows me this picture of like this. It's like this Splatoon kid, and I hate this. It's got the impact font, top and bottom text. It just says. God damn it! It just says Paul Kid Mall Squid. Don't splat on this ink.
I thought you were gonna say something about all like the Paul Blart edits where like he's photoshopped differently, like Paul Blart is the mall or something. It's just Paul Blart stretched out over the mall or something.
It was like that, but it was so dumb.
Paul Kid.
and the worst part is I forgot to mention this, but when he handed his phone to me, or like when he was showing me his phone, I had my cup of like orange juice or something like in my mouth, like I was currently drinking, and then so, you know, judging by my reaction right now to like what I'm saying, you can tell that what ended up happening was I just there was just orange juice everywhere. It was coming out of nearly every orifice in my face.
Kid, dude. You're like Splatoon
kid.
That's just now reminding me of the other day when my younger sister decided to reference this meme in front of my dad, but she essentially just referenced the tough talk for a guy with a small cock in front of my dad. We were having a bonfire out in our backyard, and that just like popped into her head, and she just had to make the reference. And I don't think my dad paid it any mind, but I laughed really hard.
That reminds me of the fucking Shadow the Hedgehog. Nice cock.
No, that is the Shadow meme, the Shadow the Hedgehog. Tough talk for a guy with a small cock. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Also, my cat is being manic as shit right now.
Jesus.
I'm working up a sweat.
here.
You're working up a
Giggle.
sweat.
I'm gonna
Your
giggle
AC
for it right
broken?
now.
I as well.
I'm vibing.
I'm a sweaty boy.
Dang, that really brought me back to simpler times.
The golden days. Back in my day,
yes.
Paul Blart me.
Back in my day, 5 years ago.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
You know what? In like 8th grade or something. So Halloween was coming around, and you know, not only were we still trick or treating in 8th grade, but me and my friends we went to Five Nights at Freddy's. And
that's
you know,
bad.
for the record, I went as Chica, and and I basically just I got like a yellow sweater and sweatpants, like very basic yellow sweater and sweatpants, and I made the Chica head out of like a cardboard box that went over my head, and like all like the beak was cardboard, and like I made these little paper cubes for teeth. It was fucked up. It was.
I remember being in 8th grade, and I was with my friend, and his mom was driving us back to his house, but she had to stop by Walmart, so we went in, and we were just dicking around in Walmart while his mom was picking up something, and we came across a Freddy Fazbear mask, and Daniel was like, I had my wallet on me, and I had like a $5 bill, and the mask was like $1.98, and he was like, Jack, you should get this, and I was like, Daniel, I'm not gonna get that, and he was like, dude, seriously, get it, and I was like, fine, and then we bought the mask, and there's just a picture of me out there, like, because, you know, I have a really fun joint problem, so I can just stretch like a pretzel.
Oh, yeah.
And it's literally just me, like, bending down with my knees almost over my head, and, like, my arms just contorted, wearing a Freddy Fazbear mask in the middle of Walmart.
Is that the bite of 87?
So that was
You still have the Freddy Fazbear mask.
Daniel has
Holy
it.
shit!
Daniel has
The
it
bite
in his
of
abode.
87.
The bite of 87.
I don't want to dig up
Hey,
Game
that's-
Theory videos.
The
on
last time I
Freddy
went trick or
Five Nights at
treating
Freddy's.
and dressed up, I dressed up as fucking Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. So
Yeah, Rick and Morty.
I haven't gone trick or treating in a couple years, but I always dress
me
up for
too.
Halloween.
It was just the
always.
Riddler.
I actually didn't this year. I don't think any of us did this year.
I did.
You did? What were you?
I was the Riddler.
I don't remember that.
I think this is before we all like met and like hung out extensively.
Halloween?
Halloween, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, but this was the first year in my entire life that I didn't do a costume for Halloween, and it was just because I was broke and not prepared.
Sad.
I had spent most of my money on food by that point.
Yeah. That's a sweet.
I guess I can take this opportunity now to hijack the conversation.
Yeah,
about
we might as well.
Yeah.
Because I do really want to talk about that. I have considered at some point in the future maybe doing like, you know, throwing our hat in the ring and doing like a real play
Yeah. With me this
edition.
time.
Maybe we'll do like the community equivalent. We'll do like one-off sessions of D&D for an episode of the Retrogrades podcast.
Oh, you can do that.
And we'll do it like 4 times over the next 6 years, like Community did.
Yeah. It's gonna be our paintball. Even though wait, they
Yes.
how many?
Well, no,
how many
D&D
community
did
episodes
they-
did have Dungeons and Dragons? I thought it was only one.
I think they had 3 D&D episodes.
Oh really? I thought it was just one.
in total,
Never mind.
3 or 4.
Community.
No, they had a
Community. Good show. Watch it. Great.
couple. Great show. Dungeons and Dragons, good game.
Yeah,
to
it's
play.
quite fun. This is
We've been.
this is the first campaign
you-
that like I've really gotten invested in. Although it's also my second campaign. But I mean that's impressive for it being over the internet. I think.
Yeah, this is my. I can't even remember what campaign this is now for me. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since my freshman year of high school.
Wow.
I was introduced to it by a couple of friends who were all older than me, actually. They were all in a grade above me. And I remember I spent like an entire summer with them just playing Dungeons and Dragons. They taught me, like, my friend Sean is literally like is Sifu Sean. He taught me everything I know about D&D.
Yeah.
And then maybe a year later, I started DMing myself, and I have not played a game of D&D since. I only DM
That's
now.
not true.
Well, yes, I have recently joined in someone else's campaign, so I'm doing two games at once because I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it. It's so delicious. Delectable. I would go as far as to say, I'm not gonna say literally. I'm trying to hold back.
Literally.
I'm gonna stop being a dumb Gen Z dummy. Go stop saying like and literally, you baby brains.
Well, how about you stop saying
I'm
the
kidding.
N-word? Lol. That wasn't.
Adam, no, we can't in this climate.
Don't say the N-word, lol.
No jokes.
That wasn't
no
directed
jokes.
at Jack. That was directed at racist old people.
At Boomer.
Thank you. No, I would go as far as to say it is the greatest game of all time because it is all games.
Mm-hmm.
It can be whatever
It
you
really,
want.
it's,
Yeah.
it's
And
so
I think
fun.
it's perfect.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I literally derive. That's the one thing that has really been keeping me sane these past like 2 months is that like I can just consistently throw myself into another world.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
And I think although I have had we've had some funny moments in this most recent campaign. I think we need to play for a little longer because when I used to play before, my players used to do some funny fucking shit. I had so many great stories. Like the time that they essentially were skeet shooting with a person. He was the villain. He was the villain of the arc, and he had killed their favorite NPC that they had forced to come with them in the party. They were like, we really like this blacksmith character. We really want to take him with us. And I literally just had him as some throwaway character. But I did a Scottish accent for the character, so everyone at the table was like, we want to keep this Scottish man. So they took him with them, and then I had him get murdered later, and they took the villain that murdered him, and they literally chucked him like a clay pigeon, and like one of them literally yelled pull, and then they fired a cannon at him and just turned him into a fine red mist. Holy. Again, D&D really can create some beautiful moments if your DM is ready to do some word paintings.
I've only played since middle school, so like I haven't really gotten back into it as of late. So
it is, yeah, I've really been enjoying the campaign that we've been running, mostly just because this is like, it's good to feel like to actually finally do like a long running campaign again. I've had so many that have just gone for like 4 sessions and then fallen through.
And it's with the boys, so I mean,
it is with it's with the boys and girl. We have one female party member.
We're inclusive.
Yes.
Woo!
Hey.
We are inclusive.
Can we get a round of applause for that? Round of applause for inclusivity.
Guys,
Now can I actually say
we have one woman, we have one woman and one black man in our party. We did it.
Yay.
Diversity. Everyone else is white, but we did it.
We still get
everyone else is a
white guy.
Yeah,
everyone else
the woman is
a,
not
is a,
white,
is a,
by the way. She doesn't count.
She doesn't count in the part.
Yeah, no.
She's white. We got her. She's a woman. We got her.
Our white woman quota's full.
It is finally a little refreshing to finally not just play with all white boys though.
Yeah, big facts.
I will say, like, Frank and Lucy both are really good at playing in character, but like not making it about themselves.
Yeah.
Like I've had players in the past who have been like, and I'm telling you, it's all the teenage white boys. They just try and make like the prophecy character who's just like the end all be all of the whole campaign, and I'm like, dude, you're not the main character. You've got 4 other party members to play with.
White people.
You're not special.
We've got
actually the previous campaign.
We've got our party is 7 total.
Yeah.
This is the largest campaign I've ever run.
We should explain the lineup for Frank's campaign.
Oh, we could. I mean, we could start with like the campaign that we've been running for a decent amount of time. Yeah, we've got ourselves. I'm gonna go by just sheer memory real quick. I know we have a gnomish noble rogue named Merver Gorvin-Yarrick. Did I get that correct? Yeah. Merver Gorvin-Yarrick. The most critical role name you could have picked. It sounds so much like one of their characters. And then we've got Grok Tango, the Turtle Monk,
who occasionally contracts super AIDS. I mean, fantasy AIDS.
Who is very consistently got. Yeah, my Adam's missed a handful of sessions, so I've explained it away by saying Grok was stuck in their home base with fantasy AIDS, and he wasn't ready to come out and fight.
Middle Earth AIDS.
He's recovered. He's recovered. He's gone into remission and then gotten it back several times now.
That's AIDS for you.
Yep.
Yeah, so we've got Grok Tango, the giant. It's basically Oogway.
Yeah, it is Oogway.
Master Oogway in his prime.
Oh my god, I love that.
And then we've got a human woman necromancer. And then we've got a warforged paladin who worships the earth.
Who is a robot?
Yeah.
Who is in fact a giant scary metal man.
That's fun.
Then we've
the Furbolg.
Yeah, we've got like the 7-foot tall Furbolg stoner druid.
It's great.
Who keeps turning into animals.
And then
Nick's character is fantastic. It is so good.
Explain to them Andrew's character.
Oh, Andrew's character is like a schizophrenic gladiator
Yeah, he's like a.
He's a human fighter. He's a human fighter, and his backstory is that he used to compete in gladiator rings, and he got his shit rocked in a fight, and now he has severe brain damage, and he's just fucking insane.
Sometimes he just kind of stands around and drools,
Yeah,
but the
his
vast majority of the
character's
time
name
he's
is
just
Apollo.
running around wrecking shit. It's great.
He
also like doesn't
does
speak
a lot
except
of
for the
writing.
occasional Latin phrase.
So he's like
Yeah, he
he's like
speaks
OJ then.
Yeah, he speaks in Latin, but like Latin isn't a language in this universe, so it's just some random language. he
Yeah,
made up.
basically.
Exactly like
then
OJ
we-
then.
And
Now
there's
I'm
Viserion.
blanking on the
And that's
Yes,
Andrew
Viser-
from the podcast, by the way.
Yes, yeah.
Viserion. Yeah, that's Andrew from our podcast.
Viserion
and
is
then-
Nate from
Yeah,
the podcast.
Nate from the podcast is a Dragonborn ranger named Viserion Torin because he likes Game of Thrones.
And this dragon is a horn dog.
Yes, he is. He's a real horny ranger.
So just like Nate in real life.
Except he's like his character is supposed to be like a dishonored samurai.
That's actually pretty sweet.
Oh my god, we've had some pretty good moments. Our most recent being Lucy's character screaming out in agony, "You killed my boner."
It was perfect.
She reanimated. She's a necromancer, and she finally got to a high enough level where she can actually learn like spells that do things. So she has a spell called Animate Dead, which basically she can take small corpses, bring them back from the dead, and have them do shit for her for 24 hours. So she brought these two skeletons back, and as a joke, I said they looked like Papyrus and Sans. Like, one was just really tall and wide, and the other one was just really short and gimpy. And she named the tall one Leonard and the little one Boner. And then later, Boner got hit with a fireball and completely exploded. And Iris, like, her character's name is Iris. She, in character, screamed into her mic, "You killed my boner." And I think everyone laughed for a solid, like, 3 minutes after she said that.
It was.
Like, I couldn't get a word in because you guys were... Frank was laughing so goddamn
It was
hard.
genuinely a beautiful moment.
God.
I think we put that in our bodacious boy quotes along with Ryan's character saying, "Can I investigate his cock?"
Roll with disadvantage.
I did not roll with disadvantage.
And then Nate also put a quote in here from Nick that says, "I feel like if I was faded as fuck, I wouldn't be able to find the Chinese letters on my teeth." I think Nick said that very drunk.
Oh god. I might just pop in just to spectate one session, even though I'm not even like.
It is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I
range.
would love to run. I wish I did have the willpower to run another session, but I am now going to be running a session with my siblings because they all really want to get into D&D. So I'm gonna be like, yeah, my brother and his fiance and his friend and his wife, they really want to play. So I'm gonna be setting up, like, I'm gonna tell them all to get. I'm basically gonna get my brother and his friend and my siblings to get Discord.
That's sick.
And I'm gonna be, I told them I'm probably gonna start the campaign after I'm all moved out and I'm living in the big city, baby.
City life, baby.
Once I have everything squared away in my apartment, I'm gonna be getting them all on. Hopefully I'll finally buy a webcam by that point so I can like actually webcam my siblings and play D&D with them.
Yeah, Dylan, if you want to join a D&D campaign, I'm writing currently to start one up.
Oh my god.
All these campaigns,
so many.
Jesus.
Yeah, I might take a gander. I might. This is my.
I have to. I like. It's crazy though because when you DM and like we've been playing very like way more consistently than I normally do. Like the way I used to play D&D was like I used to play once a week and we would normally do it every Sunday afternoon and we would. I remember it was all my friends from home and we would always play in person and we would come to my house and we would hang out. Like we wouldn't go into like the living room or anything. We would just sit in my room and I would have a small plastic table set up and like we would barely have any space to sit, but like I didn't care because I just really wanted to play and my room was the only place we could be loud.
Yeah.
And I remember I had my DM screen up and I had like candle holders with lit candles in it because I was like trying to set a mood and I had a big red tablecloth.
Yeah.
and there was a big bowl of dice in the center of the table for all my players to pick from. Meanwhile, I had my fun little set of personal DM dice. And I had my DM screen in my laptop, so I could like play music or something if I wanted to set a tone. And then Rona finally happened, and now I have to really adjust to playing online. But I don't think it's gone super poorly. I do really miss playing in person, though.
Yeah.
It is just a lot more fun.
I'm trying to DM one with my friends from Jersey too. Like I'm trying to get one started with my Jersey friends. But
Yeah, I'm excited to keep this campaign going as is because I've been really channeling, ripping off all my favorite properties for your guys'
Swag,
fun.
yeah.
I've literally lifted from so many of like just my favorite general stories, and like I wouldn't say that I've entirely plagiarized. I'm trying to do my own thing, and I actually really like the world that I conjured up.
it's really cool, and it's been a lot of fun.
I enjoy it,
and I'm excited because I get to do my whole like, this is basically like me running a TV show, but it's like with my friends. That is what I actually treat D&D like. It's almost like we air once a week.
yeah, a serialized.
Gotta do an episode. That's why I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but I constantly slip up, and I will always call sessions episodes, because that's literally just how I
really?
see it in my brain. That's how I see it in my brain. When we start to play, I'll be like, all right, last episode, and then Frank will go session, and I'll be like, yeah, sure, session, whatever. Yeah, no, because I treat it like it. I treat it like I'm a showrunner because I'm a pretentious.
Nah, it's like cool.
It's charming.
I think that's a pretty good note to end it on. You being a pretentious fucking D&D.
Yeah, we had our episode about childhood trauma and the best game ever.
And logic.
And Logic's gangly fucking salad fingers.
Next session, you should
Fuck
make
you,
a fucking like
Logic.
Dark Souls style logic boss to fight against.
We need Logic salad
Yeah.
fingers as a D&D boss.
They say that people who have long fingers they call those like piano hands or piano fingers. This man has marimba hands.
All right, we can end it there.
Yeah.